Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? As you get here, make sure you say hello and let me know you're here. All right, I'm going live. What is this not working? Oh, there we go. Good morning. Good morning. As I said, make sure you let me know that you're here. I'm going to pull this up on my phone. Oh, what? Where did it go? There we are. Going live. All right. Perfect. I've got too much stuff sitting around here. There we go. So, how are you guys this morning? It's a gorgeous day here in Georgia, and I've been getting up earlier recently, but it's not because of the things that I want to do for my business or that I got to work early or anything like that. It's because I've shared before that we've got a deer that's living kind of in the backyard between my house and the next door neighbor's house. There's a lot of vegetation. I didn't realize it, but some of hers is bamboo, and so the deer went back behind my shrubbery where her bamboo is and had babies. And so I don't always see the baby, but I've only seen one. She said two are born, but it seems like the mom usually separates them in case a predator gets one, it won't get them both, is what she was telling me. But she sent me some pictures that she gets from her side, because when on my side, every time I try to get pictures through the window, because I don't want to disturb her by opening the door and the baby's out there, my phone keeps, as I try to zoom in, it keeps zooming in on the screen texture. So I'm not getting as good a picture as I would love. But a couple of times I've gotten some. I've just been stepped out and realized that she was there. But I've been getting up earlier because it's earlier in the morning that she's just kind of walking nonchalantly through the yard. She's eating on some of the vegetation and she'll stop and look around. Sometimes the baby's with her and sometimes not. But it's been like this, such an amazing thing that she feels so comfortable in the yard. And I know part of it's because I've let some of the stuff in the very back kind of grow up a little bit. So that's my excuse now. It's her home, and I'm not going to mess with it, right? But it has been amazing to see this unfold. And my neighbor actually was able, because she's got a porch that she can go out on that is right there. And she got pictures of the mom nursing the baby. And I don't know, it's just been an amazing thing where when the man came to do my yard work, I actually said, you can't go in the backyard. You just do the front yard. Don't bother with the back, because I didn't want to have a lawnmower and a weed eater and all that stuff back there and it disturb her. So I'm trying to be very mindful, because technically I'm in her yard and it's not that she's in mine, right? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let's see what we are doing over here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab the affirmation. All right. So our affirmation for today is, I trust the wisdom of my inner compass, knowing it always points me toward alignment and truth. Do you believe that? Do you trust your inner wisdom, that it's your inner compass? And I've mentioned before that I just wrote this fable, and it's all about our inner compass and the things that happen to kind of sometimes set us on a different path when we know deep in our heart that this is exactly what we're supposed to do, and that it will make a difference for ourselves, and it'll make a difference for others. But we end up trusting somebody else's compass and not our own. So this is really, really important one, right? I trust the wisdom of my inner compass, knowing it always points me toward alignment and truth. And, if that feels like way big a stretch for you, and it can for some people, right? We want to tweak it just a little bit. So you could say, I'm beginning to trust, because that your subconscious mind can't argue with that one, right? Because you can always begin, right? So if that's you, if that just feels like, nope, that's not true, then just say, I'm beginning to trust the wisdom of my inner compass, knowing it always points me toward alignment and truth. And that's one of the things that we talk about when I talk about the journal prompt, tapping into that inner guidance, that God voice, that space within you. We all have it, and it's talking to us all the time. It's time to trust it, to silence ourselves enough that we can actually hear it, right? Any thoughts on that? Just go ahead and share it in the comments if you would like. And for those that are watching behind the scenes, you can still jump into the chat if you would like. And those that are here live, I appreciate you more than you know. And if you're watching the replay, you can put that in the chat too, because I am not always in here looking, right? But I really try to get back. I really try is not the right word. I make it a point to get in there as much as possible to look and see who's been, looking for, who's been doing the replay, who's been putting comments in and addressing those, right? So just know that you can still join in the conversation, even if you're watching the replay, okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab the journal prompt. All right, our journal prompt for today is, what quiet guidance have I been sensing lately? So what quiet guidance have I been sensing lately? Because sometimes it's just like this fleeting thought, and then you think, oh, that's silly. I couldn't do that. Who's going to want that? Who am I to even think of that? There's all these little beliefs that pop in as soon as we have this inspirational idea. So what is that little quiet? Maybe it's coming in your dream. Maybe when you sit in prayer or in meditation, which is kind of the same thing, right? When you're there and you're quiet, what are those little thoughts that keep popping in? What have you been sensing lately? If you've been out talking to people and you hear a conversation that tweaks this idea, make a note of it. What is that? Our inner guidance is working on us all the time. We're just not listening. Or it's not so much that we're not trying to listen. It's like I was saying the other day, it's almost like someone who has tinnitus, that has that ringing in the ears. That's just, it blocks out everything, right? When it's really bad. And the thing is that they can't hear the normal things that other people hear because they got that ringing in their ears. And so it's kind of like that you've got this inner guidance that's speaking to you and guiding you, but you've got so much chatter going on in your head that you can't hear a word of it. And so it's time to tap into that quiet guidance. And then next is, what small step can I take to honor it today? Because knowing is wonderful, but if you don't take action, you might as well not even have heard. But then the thing is that your inner compass, your inner guidance will give you the next step if you just listen and ask. So you can even say, okay, God, I get it. This is my path. This is what feels like the right place, the right thing to do. So help me out here. What's the next step? And remember, small hinges swing big doors. So it's not always this giant leap, go out and speak to a huge crowd. It's not, put this ad on the Facebook or wherever to get more people to look. No, sometimes it's just the little tiny thing of making a note of it. And if you're a person that uses AI, you can take your thought, your idea, you can drop it into AI and you can say, this is what I want to do. This is what is lighting up my soul. Give me 3 ways that I can step forward with this. And then you can look at it. And if it feels doable, if it feels like it aligns with you, then go ahead and start. But if it doesn't, you can tweak it. But you can do that on your own too. Like when I say I want you to tap into the silence for your journal prompt, that's where a lot of those answers are going to come from. All right, now I'm moving kind of fast today because I've got some things, some work I have to do. So hold on, let me get back over to the affirmation. I trust the wisdom of my inner compass, knowing it always points me toward alignment and truth. Now put that on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes, put it somewhere that you are reminded that that is you. Today and every day, trust the wisdom of your inner compass because it's always pointing you toward alignment and the truth of who you really are. We spend most of our life living the truth that somebody else gave us, their truth of who we are. And it's time to move that around a little bit and live your own truth. And that's not always easy to find. It takes a little bit of work. And if that's something that you need help with, definitely reach out and let me know, and we will have a conversation. So you can go into my DM and just let me know you'd like to have a conversation. And then I can send you my calendar link, or you can actually get in my bio and grab the calendar link and just schedule something. Because it's important if you're sitting there wanting to be the best person, the best version of yourself, and you're just not even sure what that is. It's not going to come just from sitting there. Sometimes you need someone to hear what you're saying and help you to decide and see what's the best thing moving forward. And that's what I think is great about having a coach. I have a coach. I have more than one. And because a lot of times it's like one of my friends and who's a coach, she says that you can't see the label on the jar while you're in the jar. And it means that you can't see who you are, who you choose to be, and how to get there because you're inside the jar. You're inside of the mix, right? And it's like you can't solve something when you're in the problem. And a lot of times we're in a place where we're wanting to solve something because something's happened or something's been shown to us that makes us feel uncomfortable and we want to change something. And you usually can't see the solution on your own. So you need a coach, because the coach, I like to say, is like they're in a drone and the drone's up above you and they can actually see where the road is out, where the tree is over the road, where, this is the quickest path. Remember those old, I don't even know if they do this anymore, but they used to when I was in school. I remember you would get the little paper that would have all the little lines, and then it would be you're here, and then you had to find the path to get all the way to the end, but it was always with little roadblocks, and you'd go this way, and dead end, you got to go back and start over. Well, that's all great with a little piece of paper. But when you're doing it in your life, a lot of times that gets so frustrating and feels so disheartening that people give up. And that could be, not just in a business sense, but in relationships and all types of things that people give up because they keep running into the same dead ends. And so having a coach and being in that drone, they can see where it would be great if you just pivot just a little bit here, change one of these limiting beliefs and go this way. And so that's what I would like to do for you. If you need that, definitely reach out. Now, there is no obligation whatsoever. You don't, if you schedule a call with me and we decide that here's some great things that you can do and you don't need to hire me, that's fine. But, if you do and you want to, then we'll move forward with that. But there's no obligation whatsoever. And if you ever want to sample out some of my hypnosis sessions, you can go to my link tree, which my link is in the bio, and you can try some. And there are some on YouTube that's free as well. So you just go to YouTube /Vicky Sue Poole, and you can peruse some of the ones that I have there. But there's so much information out there that you can utilize. But I'm more than happy to be that voice to help you if you need. And that brings me to, I mentioned my book earlier. So if you're interested in buying the book, it's only $9.99. It's on Kindle. And I am really, over the weekend, I'm going to be working on getting it up in print. And once I do, I will let you know that too. I've got a couple of people that have reached out and said, I want the print version. So I'm working on that right now. And because there's a little thing with Amazon is that it's not enough pages or something. I don't know. So anyway, it's a work in progress. So I'll just let you know that. But the link to buy the book on Amazon is in the Kindle is actually in my bio as well. But all you have to do is go in the search bar and put The Light Beyond the Map, and then it comes up and you can get it there. All right, so let me get back over to the journal prompt. And as I always say, get your notebook out, your journal out, write the date, the affirmation, the journal prompt, because they go together. And then say them out loud with emotion, some feeling, right? So that it resonates with you and your subconscious mind's paying a lot more attention when there's some emotion there. And then set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes and just sit in the quiet. You don't have to be doing anything other than just listen to your breath, focus on your breath. And what that does is it quiets the chatter, because a lot of times our minds are so busy, like I said, that we can't hear that inner guidance. And so I want you to just quiet it down just a little bit. And the easiest way to do that is to focus on your breath. And then when you notice that your chatter is going again and you're often wondering and thinking about something else, you just bring it back to your breath, and you just keep doing that until your timer goes off, right? And that's when you get your pen or your pencil up and you just start writing everything that comes up. So what quiet guidance have I been sensing lately? There may be a lot of things that have been going through your mind and you didn't even take notice of it. So just write down anything that comes up. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't critique it. Don't judge it. Just write it down, because it's just for you. And you might discern later that, that's not important. But write it down just to get it out of you and onto the paper. And then the second part, what small step can I take to honor it today? So you just pick one of those things, and you might only have one. I don't know. Only you know. But if there's a bunch of them, which for me, a lot of times there's a lot of them. But if there is, then you just pick one, and you can kind of just discern, okay, what's the most important one to focus on today? And you'll just know. Just whichever one pops in your head, that's the one. And then that's when you ask, what's the small step that I can take to honor it today? And remember, Incremental changes create exponential growth. So just by doing this one step, taking this small step, changes everything. All right, guys. So it has been great to be here with you this morning. And I hope you have an exceptional weekend. And tap into that guidance over the weekend and just see what shows up for you. There's gold in them there hills, right? There's gold inside you. It's time to release it and let it out. All right. So have a golden weekend, and I will see you on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Love you guys.